I'm Adrian Ghobrial. Life in prison without a chance of parole for 25 years. That is the minimum sentence that serial killer Bruce McArthur was facing for the murder of 8 men right here in Toronto. And it is what was handed down by Justice John McMahon here inside a Superior courtroom earlier today. It's a decision that has sparked lots of emotion from all sides the moment it was announced.
I don't think he deserves what he got. I think he deserves a lot more harsh of a sentence. And this country is so lenient on their sentences for the crimes committed that it's just, it makes people so angry.
You're listening to one of the best judges in the country, and I think he addressed every area of his concerns and made the right decision at the end of it.
The judgment is 25 years. We expect maybe 50 years, but it's 25 years.
This week we heard the prosecution argue their case for 2 consecutive sentences, meaning McArthur wouldn't have been able to apply for parole for 50 years. He would have been 116 years old. It was what the families of the victims and those who've had their lives turned upside down were hoping for.
Just make him disappear.
Justice John McMahon said despite McArthur's lack of remorse for his horrific crimes, a consecutive sentence would be more of a symbolic gesture than a realistic decision.
Isn't enough. It's not enough for families. It's not enough for the lives lost.
McArthur will be 91 years old before he's eligible for parole. The killer sat with a listless look on his face as Justice McMahon read out his decision before a packed courtroom. McMahon noted the chance of McArthur ever being granted parole is 0. In his decision, McMahon told the court these men died a slow and painful death for the sexual satisfaction of Mr. McArthur. McMahon also said that the staged photos McArthur took of his victims' lifeless bodies in fur coats and fur hats were no doubt for his own perverted sexual gratification. This week, McArthur declined his legal right to speak to court and address the families of the victims. Is there anything Bruce could say to you, a friendship that you had for over a decade with this man?
No, because the man I thought I knew actually doesn't exist. So words from a non-existent person wouldn't mean anything to me.
Toronto's top Crown attorney Michael Cantlin walked past the media today after sentencing, but issued this statement saying in part, this is a crime of stark horror, going on to say, although there can be no closure from a crime of this magnitude, we hope that these 8 convictions for first-degree murder will assist our community in beginning a new chapter of healing. Detective Dave Dickinson, one of the few people who've questioned McArthur, wouldn't discuss the killer's motive today, but did share this glimpse into the mind of a monster.
I will agree. I don't think he's remorseful.
For those whose lives have been changed forever, the horrors will live on. One can only hope for some semblance of peace.
I'll go home and think, and little bits will float in, and then I hope I can form a reaction and opinion that I can be comfortable with. I don't think this is the end, but it's certainly the end of this part of it.
Bruce McArthur was just a few feet away from me as he was led out in handcuffs. He was looking at the ground, shuffling his feet slowly as he walked towards what will likely be life behind bars. Now, Justice McMahon concluded saying to everyone else in the courtroom that he hopes the healing can now begin.